In this video, we are going to be talking about the collector booster box product for Lord of the Rings, which is going to be the new upcoming MTG crossover set, and it is going to be a pretty impactful set. It's the first time we're going to have a serialized one-of-one ring. In this stream cut, we're going to talk about the one-of-one ring, we're going to talk about past collector products, we're going to talk about everything we know about the Lord of the Rings collector product. Make sure to stick around because we're going to speculate on where we think the ring is going to end up. And if you do want to catch a stream, come hang out on Mondays and Wednesdays at 6:30 Pacific Standard Time. Use chapters below so that you can enhance your viewing experience.
Enhance your viewing
Make sure
experience
to use the chapters using YouTube chapters below and enhance your experience. Enjoy the stream cut.
The price of Lord of the Rings boxes is too damn high.
It is way high.
At least that's what Jake thinks. And look at these things, man. $360. Market price $357.92. What's happening?
I know. We've got the great henge in this product. It's made for modern, so it's a premium set. It's really hard to justify buying singles or sealed. I've just been buying a lot of singles because what happens is whenever a new product comes out, it inevitably everything races to the bottom.
Right.
I was just talking about wanting to get Ragavan at 40s. Ragavan is in low 50s, knocking on 40's door.
Knocking on 40's door.
It's getting close. Yeah, henge is a box topper. That is worth saying.
These debuted at $500.
Yes.
You'd have to look at some sales. It sat at $490 though for a week before it dipped heavy, and it bounced off the 415 line, went back up, came back down, and just kept dropping to where it is today.
Yeah, actually, can you look it up really quick on Amazon, and can we check the price there?
100%.
I want to see the current Amazon price. I think it is around like 400s. All right, so when you click on the collector box, okay, so 425. When you click on this, you're going to see a couple different images, and the bottom one, or the second to the last image down there on the bottom, is the one that I think we should focus on. This is going to tell you everything that you can find in what product. And for me, the one-of-one ring, I don't even think that should be considered in the price point. None of us are going to pull it. No one's going to pull it.
It is so weird, right? Because it will be... It's got to be considered in the price point. People will be thinking about it. That's why some people are going to buy collector boosters. I bet this will pull people out of the work if the price is right. And I'm speaking for myself here. I don't really buy collector booster boxes.
Sure.
But I mean, what if you did, right? It's the allure of what if.
Yeah, I mean, it is like
somebody
what if
has
I went
to
out and got struck by lightning 3 times tomorrow, you know?
Right.
Who knows?
Somebody's got to open it. Why couldn't it be us?
I really do think, and this is totally a tinfoil hat, but I really do think that Star City Games will open it. I think that they always find the new hot thing first, and it helps drive the FOMO in the set. But they open tons and tons of product. So the odds of them finding, you know, the serialized Viscera Seer first and the Secret Layer products, and then finding the 1 of 500 Ragavan during pre-sale before March of the Machine even comes out, you know, that is possible. If they do find the ring, then I'm going to be like super sus because I'm like, okay, you found all of the new hot shit.
That's beyond sus.
Yeah, like the odds of finding the 1 of 500 Ragavan in that set and then also finding the ring when you open honestly a minuscule amount of product in the grand scheme of how much is printed.
Yeah.
That to me will be the indicators. Like if they do open the ring, I would just watch that like anything moving forward. It's like we're going to talk about this Pokemon thing that just happened, but if the allure, right, Joel, is that we do stand a chance of finding that ring,
which we don't.
But if in theory, because it kind of does remind me of the Pokemon thing that we're going to talk about, which is all of the hot cards from Pokemon have just gone missing right off the line. And then someone takes all of these cards to sell them.
Yeah.
And people are like, holy shit, these are the cards that barely anyone's able to find. If we never actually stood a chance of finding the one ring, And if that's just like back at home base somewhere and they're trying to strategically figure out where to place it. And I know that this is definitely tinfoil hat. Nothing here is financial advice. This is just in a certain world.
We're making up a story about what could possibly happen. We're not saying that it's going to, or we even think it's has a chance to. We're just making up fun stories together.
This is a story of what could happen, which is that ring is printed, the 1-of-1 serialized ring, and it is going to be precise where it ends up. And it's going to be, you have to think about it. The odds of it finding either, a big store or a specific person or personality are so microscopic that it should just end up somewhere in the middle of, wherever. And it might just end up in some guy's basement and just sit in a sealed box forever and we never see it, which is a totally realistic possibility. Or a big profile with a big Twitter that's going to make a big to-do of a public auction is going to do it.
That's a big point. Albo Baggins said it best. Most Pallone might pull this thing. And that is another... I mean, that everywhere I write anything about this whole One Ring, people are like, oh, Post or Cassius are going to pull it. And it's just, that's so suspicious. That's so weird. Oh, 100%. Bro, if I got 1-of-1 ring, I mean, I'm probably going to sell it. But another fun story would be if you got the One Ring to make it into a Logan Paul necklace and just wear it on stream every day. There you go.
Sure. But I think, because this is what, if I were a corrupt CEO of a giant corporation and I wanted to build a brand that had a big money sign attached to it.
Right.
This is what my evil Jake is an evil GPT, and this is what he's going to do. I am going to make sure that I know where that ring ends up. I'm going to make sure it's going to be somebody who does not want to keep it. I'm going to make sure that it's going to be some high profile with a lot of eyes on it. That's going to make sure that it's sold in the public zeitgeist so that people see a high profile item sell for like $1 million.
That would be the best thing for our game. You're right, Executive Jake. I believe you as Executive Joel that would be a huge promotion for our brand.
Yes.
If there is a $350,000 sale of the 1-of-1 serialized
imagine if
ring.
it went for the milli and then all of a sudden there's a card that sold for more than a Black Lotus.
That's the big
it's a
thing,
1-of-1. And then that brings all of the eyes on the brand of people being like, oh wait, what's going on in MTG? Oh, they have the big chase card.
Yeah, dude. Screw all those Charizards. Let's go chase One Rings. Yeah. 100%. Well, and they can also be like, oh, there's no chance, man. That's no chance. But you think from the marketing point of view, we're going to start dumping serialized into every set somehow. And we're going to have them go, oh, man, I'll never do that. It's not worth even. Well, look, they have serialized in all this stuff. You could pull a 420 of 500, a 1 of 500, or whatever, and it draws them in. Big
and that's a whole other thing as well for me, which is like, and we are seeing people pull, the important numbers. Let's call them the meme numbers, right? The 1 of 500, the 69 of 500, the 420 of 500.
Yep.
When people are able to pull those and we see those aren't just ending up at stores, that's a good indicator because, if we're able to, any layman can pull the serialized numbers that are just whatever all over the place. But as soon as those meme numbers are not available, like if for some reason those were calculated and those were being sent to a certain place, then it would be a real, bummer because those are going to have a premium. 1 of 500, 500 of 500, 69, 420, 111, 222, 333, whatever. They're going to have a premium over whatever jumble number that you find.
Right.
And so we've already seen it happen on the secondary market.
Quantum with the 669 Canadian said, I feel like 360 is low. Look at the price behavior of the collector's Warhammer decks. So let's look at those. I haven't actually checked in on the price of these Warhammer decks in a while. Sparks also says, wouldn't it be in WotC's best interest for it not to be found for a while? Yes, so that people buy
product. I mean, I guess that's the idea, is that if it's not found, then people will continue to buy it.
Right, because if it is found, they'll be like, the sales will plummet. That's already kind of a meme among the stores, and the members of our community that own stores are tangentially related to a store. That's the thing that they're talking about is, well,
that's what I was saying, like back at home base.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, there's a case, then it does exist, and it's back at Wizards in a vault.
Yeah, it's in a vault. Well, and they can deploy it whenever they want to. I mean, if you're going that strategy, Jake, then you have to go, okay, well, when do we reveal it? And so you have to time that up. You say, well, in 2 years, we're doing X. We're going to have, why doesn't it show up, 8 months before that, which is like a month or two before we announce that set coming out?
Oh my God, exactly.
And so it just becomes a mark. It's fully this fun story that we're making up that has no basis in truth, and we're not even saying that it is possibly true. This fun story that we're making up together, it's completely a marketing play. The entire part of it, every single piece of it. They make it on the side. It's in a vault in Wizards. They've already got a plan for where they're going to plan it, where they're going to reveal it. That is some multiversal version of Wizards of the Coast. That's their plan. Look at these decks, man. It's so weird how if you ignore all of this, it just went.
Are these the foil versions or just the regular versions?
Just the base level display.
Oh, all four of them.
Of all four
of them. Okay.
Have just consistently gone up, and we're at 228 for all of them now. Released around. We got ours for 200, right? And so we've gained about $25 on these. Look, this is when everybody was like, oh my God, these cards are fantastic and there's never going to be reprinted. And then it was like, oh, reprints. Oh, a second wave.
And then it looks like it's going to bottom out. And then if you had bought back down there, you'd be up a little bit. But
it's still little right now, but it is climbing.
When you're talking about it, look at the foils. Look at the foil one, Quantum says. Yeah, we can look at the foil one too. Holy moly, tonight is not the night to run the stream back to the beginning, says 5-9. Oh my God.
Yeah, if you're just coming in right now, you missed a lot, but we're finally on. When you look at the chart over here and it doesn't go up by 10s, it goes up by 200s. This is the piece where you get valuable info right here, is you can actually see sales. And I know these can be spoofed. I think that somebody who would not be a fan of it would be like, oh yeah, you can spoof sales. But selling in the beginning of March for over 700, near 700, and now we're looking at like 664. Slight decline, but everything's in a slight decline right now. All of it's declining.
John says I've been sniping the collector's individual ones for about 160 on eBay. Nice.
Wow, that's not a bad price.
Yeah.
Not a bad price at all.
Yeah,
so you're looking at a difference, a pretty big difference here between 460 and 700. It's going to be about printing, man. I mean, I feel like these were printed significantly less. Print runs on these are going to be tough to compare, because I would assume that this is going to have a bigger print run, much bigger print run.
This has an overlap in fandom. So like people that want to play with Lord of the Rings cards.
Well, Warhammer's the same thing.
Yeah. Jars says, so if there are no ally colored fetch lands in Lord of the Rings, will they be in Commander Masters? So fetch lands that started in Onslaught were reprinted in Khans of Tarkir. Will they show up? I think they've got to be showing up soon. We had them in Zendikar Rising, and in Zendikar Rising, we got them on the Expedition slot. That wasn't exactly like a super meaningful reprint of them. So, I mean, it was a pretty good reprint. I reckon they would be showing up soon. They might use that land slot as a way to push that product. I think that would be a good land slot to do it. Those have actually started creeping up in price, but just
talking Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, Jar was saying if they don't put the allied fetches in Lord of the Rings, will they put them in Commander Masters? And I'm saying I do think it would be a good cycle to show up soon. It's been a while. I'm pretty sure that they
confirmed on one of those streams we watched that fetches are not going to be in Lord of the Rings.
Oh, okay. Well, then then maybe they are going to be in Commander Masters. If they do show up in Commander Masters, expect the price of them to just, oh my God, it'll be crazy. Just look at Modern Horizons 2 fetches. It will be as bad as or worse than that.
I wanted to look at the individual cards here and see what was driving some of the prices of this. Let me sort high to low. I mean,
Chat,
the thing
if you are
is,
enjoying the stream, go ahead and click like and subscribe.
I mean, the thing is,
What do you think of the ring, Joel?
it's a fine card. It's not game breaking. Are you talking about the 1 of 1 or just the card itself in general?
No, just the card in general.
Dude, I honestly think that there are going to be so many copies of this card.
Yeah.
They have got base copy, extended copy, borderless copy, showcase. It's just, how many different versions of it do they really have? I don't know. It's the collectability of it to me. I just don't see it. I think it's a good card and it'll play, and you know, I just don't think it's going to blow any minds as far as how powerful it is.
Lance says there's one in every bundle. Okay. Lance also says, I don't think so. And this is responding to what I was saying about the price of the allied fetches, I'm guessing. Lance says, because Commander Masters is going to cost 2 times what Modern Horizons 2 did, more rares, mythics in the pool too. You know, like, maybe, but Modern Horizons 2 had such a stacked set of valuable cards, and tons of them have bottomed out, except for like Seasoned Pyromancer is a card that's seeing a lot of play. You got Fury that's seeing a lot of play. I mean, there are some cards in it that haven't absolutely fallen out, but a lot of the rare stuff is just, you don't think it'll get a billion reprints?
Look at these cards.
I feel like Wizards of the Coast would want to print Commander Masters into the ground.
Yeah, for sure. Just
that seems like the 2 words to put together that they haven't put together yet. I feel like that's going to be massive, just like MH2. But we'll see. I don't know.
I'm looking at the cards here, Jake, and I just don't see where the hype is coming from. The hype is coming from the 1 of 1 ring. The hype is coming from the fact that it's a modern set, and people are like, oh, modern staple's going to be printed into it. They're definitely going to power creep. But realistically, maybe 1 card? No, we'll say 1 card will make it into modern. Let's say maybe 2. We don't know what the land cycle really truly looks like. We've seen some legends, we've seen some mechanics, but the thing is this price is completely just it just seems artificial and based on hype to me.
Yeah, it's just
and hype for what is my big question.
The Great Henge so far in the ring, and you know, exclusivity of finding a special ring, that's possible.
To me, this just doesn't seem prudent. Modern Masters is packed full of hits and playables. Maybe this will be like Commander Masters Lite, and it'll have a ton of playable Commander cards in it. And so they're going to call it a modern set so they can drop a card or 2 in there and then sell the name.
Master set. Yeah.
But the thing is a modern master set is just chock full of good reprints, and this isn't a modern master set, but it's pricing like a modern master set. I don't know. This set is just weird to me.
This is from Sean, and Sean, thanks so much for sending this. Sean says, here's the deals I can get on Lord of the Rings. This is about as low as any non-Rudy can offer. Collector boosters, $340, drafts, $140, sets, $165, bundle, $45, a display, $190, jumpstart, $95, gift bundles, $70, and then the starter carton times 12 for $170. If we're just looking at that collector booster price, $340, low of $340.
I think that this is completely based on 2 things. IP, it is a hot IP. People are passionate about this IP.
Right.
Chase,
right.
1 ring. That is it. I think that is the 2 things.
You think the chase
driving
is the serialized ring is like get a serialized ring, not the 1 of 1, but any of them. Get a serialized something.
Right.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's going to be really hard to break out with a product like this, because we just see so many singles race to the bottom. It's happening right now with March of the Machine. As more product comes out, as we see with every single set, this is one thing I want to continue re-emphasizing, because we've said it before. And so for anybody who hasn't heard it, I have the textured foils, the price for all 5 of them, which are the 3 Eldrazi, Renin 6, and Liliana that came out of Double Masters 2022. And you can get all 5 of them for under $400 at this point. It's like super, super cheap. And the pre-sales for those early on, Ren and 6 sold for like 600 plus. You saw like Kozilek's going for 300s, and all of that has just completely bottomed out. The textured foils, like people just didn't care. So then it was like they moved into this serialized thing. And I think like there's part of me, and I'm not trying to capitulate, and I'm not trying to like spread FUD.
Everybody get your debit cards ready. Actionable advice coming.
But no, it feels like the balloon is like getting bigger and like more inflated, and it seems like they're just trying to pump as much as they can before it explodes. That's kind of like the vibe that I'm getting from WotC, because as the cards continue to race to the bottom, like I'm watching, like I said, my collection, I've seen it. I've seen like I have binders of cards. I have a binder of cards that's like $6,000 like a year ago that's worth like $4,500 now. So a lot of my collection, if that's a microcosm of my collection, and I'm able to look at that binder and say, okay, that has already lost this amount. I just don't know like how much more variance, like if there are seriously 70,000 serialized cards, then eventually, you know, most Magic players are going to end up finding a couple serialized cards themselves, especially if you buy it a lot. If you're a returning customer, you've probably already pulled some serialized stuff.
Spectre made a good point here. WotC said this is not Modern Horizons 3, not near that power level. And Spike, a streamer, modern streamer, has also said modern players shouldn't be worried, and he consulted on it. So, you know, that even more to me, I'm just like, this is a hype price. Look at a booster box of Modern Horizons 2.
Right, and you know that cards in there are going to be strong. They've been tested and stuff.
Right.
Fat Palm has a really good comment here. Serialized Mana Crypt and Bound. Yeah, they haven't even done the serialized to like the big hits yet.
Right.
We haven't seen it on Sol Ring. We haven't seen it on the Fetch Lands. We haven't seen it on Shock Lands. We haven't seen it on Command Tower. We haven't seen it on all of our signets. We haven't seen it on all of our collection staples. We've seen it on Ragavan. We've seen it on Mox Amber. We've started to see it on some good stuff, but the big hits, Mana Crypt. What's going to happen with the 1 of 500 Mana Crypt? Or is Mana Crypt going to be a 1 of 100? You know, we don't even know what they're going to do with the big hits. So it's like they're just like, it's going to be a slow roll.
I'm trying to sit here and compare collector booster displays of, you know, Modern Horizons level power set versus what is a heavy reprint set here, like Dominaria Remaster collector booster displays. We were over 350. Yeah. We were in the 380 range, huh? Yeah, that was really high. And then under 300 by about release, we were right at 300, 291. And then the last
you could look at probably every collector box of this stuff.
Right.
And all of the charts are going to be similar.
Right.
And the reason is, and it's like, it's best to just not even bet against it. I mean, at this point, you should just...
Like, what's a crappy one? Streets
I mean,
of
a crappy one is like...
What's the crappiest set?
Theros Beyond Death.
Theros
pretty
Beyond
crappy.
Death. There you go. 238.
But they do adjust. I mean, look at this one. If you go,
look at that, man. It's the same looking chart.
Yeah, the chart is similar. It goes down, but it creeps back up when it's out of sight, out of mind, because now you have collectors that just, they want the unopened things. So it's like, you just have to, if you do buy one of these things, you have to be able to sit through and wait through it.
$130 for a collector booster box of Crimson Vow. What happened, Crimson Vow? You thought vampires would be enough? It was not.
I mean, March of the Machine, I mean, that's getting around where I would pick up a March of the Machine. I really love March of the Machine.
Me too.
I think it's a great set. I think it's fun. It's all over the place.
I just had it up. Where'd it go?
Different variants.
The March of the Machine stuff has looked really, really sweet.
Yeah.
Expected value of a booster box of Double Masters 22 right now is 233 market. Let's look at the booster boxes. This is a collector box.
Now these went through a huge adjustment because you have the
70 market, and the expected value is about 233. Yeah, dude, you're just It's not there.
The textured foils, look at the textured foils. If we go back to the collector one, can we go back to the collector one?
You want to look at the textured foils themselves?
No, I just want to look at the collector box chart.
Oh, yeah.
Yearly. Okay, so when textured foils came out, these were super high because people were like, oh man, if I get lucky, I could pull a card that's like $600, $800 card.
Right.
But as we've seen, even the best one, which I believe is Ren and 6, has fallen to like 100. Yeah. So textured foil Ren and 6 is essentially 1/8 or like a 1/7 of its debut value.
Have you ever pulled a Ren and 6 that looks like this, Jake?
I have pulled one that looks like that behind a dockside extortionist, but I have not pulled the textured one. I am still someone who has never owned a Ren and 6 despite having pulled one. But you can see it. You can see, look at that FOMO into that textured up to 700s. And then you have the actual adjustment, and it looks like a penny stock that someone was pumping. They were like, we made our 50.
Let's go. Let's get out of there. Let's get out of there.
Race to the bottom.
Yeah, man. Textured foils really, really hype. And then it did not happen. I said this card was going to be a $20 card. Oops. Oopsie. Hello.
I mean, even look at the etched Imperial Seal, right? I'm sure it's up there. $100. I mean,
sheesh.
How the money have fallen. Even as people were like, I like it at 150. It's like, if you had waited, whatever they decide to do, it's like, until I see a product that doesn't do what every single other product has done, it's so hard for us to even talk about it because we've said the same thing so many times. But
well,
it's like,
right.
until one doesn't do this, I'm just going to assume it's going to happen with everything.
This chart, if it does the exact same thing as all the other charts, is going to, it's going to be like this. And then the set release, or it's going to go like this. And then the set release will be like right there. And then it's going to kind of go like this, and then it'll go like this. And then it'll be like this. And then it'll be like this. And then randomly in like 6 months, it'll go like this. And then it'll just kind of settle off right there. Like, did I just draw the chart that we saw 100 times?
I think that you need that last up needs to be like half as high as it went.
I see.
So I would do it
paint
right
erase
there.
Sucks. Remember doing this as a kid?
No, this is pretty good. This is pretty good.
These Lord of the Rings collector booster boxes right now seem very hyped. I get where the hype is coming from. I don't agree that it should be drawing that much hype. We know nobody's going to find that ring, or it's going to be most Palone.
Yeah, bro. And I think there's like an extra $100 that are added onto this box because there's a chance at pulling a serialized 1 of 1.
That's what I'm saying.
Think that's kind of gross. And for anybody to think that they're going to stand a chance of pulling that card,
right,
I think is just, delusional.
No chat on the screen. No Discord to talk on. No Jake even here. It's just Joel dancing around. He's pissed off. 16 hours. He's pissed off. 16 hours. Discord setup. EXE. 16 hours. 16 hours. Joel's losing his mind. Yeah. Hail, 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 hail. Oh my God, dude.